Well, hello. This is another Sunday where you do not get to clutch your pearls. Hello, Matt. How are you?
We don't do pearl clutching around these parts, Paula. We
Not in
don't
this,
engage in any of that.
not in this hood. How are
Yeah, well,
you?
well, you're over 40, so you're not a pearl clutching, couch fating feminist, are you? You're a
Oh
normal,
God, no,
reasonable woman.
no, 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 no.
We
I
don't
love,
do that
I
anymore.
no, I love the man to be the man. I love the
Yeah,
man to open the door for me. You're gonna carry every bag from the supermarket for me, even if you can't walk. You know.
yeah. And you've got to do it all in one trip from the car.
Yes,
12 bags on each arm. It's what we do, isn't it? It's the rule. You can't do it
that's how
too.
we roll here, buddy. That's how we
Yeah.
roll. Please go subscribe to Matt the Angry Bootneck and his channel. I will leave the link for you guys who are watching from my channel.
You know
And
what's funny? I
mhm,
was talking about that with my missus yesterday, and I was saying,
mhm.
if you look at all the numbers, it is so weird. There's a lot of psychology that suggests that humans are really bad at visualizing what we want. You know, like if you say to people, tell me what your three biggest wishes are that you could have, a lot of people will tell you three things, and then a year later, they'll be miserable. Like, we're really bad at knowing what's actually good for us. And
Yeah.
it's because we're an evolved primate, so we don't do these things well. For example, salad's good for us, but we don't like salad. Candy bars are bad for us, but we like them. It's like we're almost hardwired to like the stuff that's bad for us and hate the stuff that's good for us. And that's
Yeah.
because of evolution. That's why lettuce, it tastes of nothing, but donuts taste amazing. And it's because we're bad at making good decisions. And the one thing that I've noticed is in the last 30 years, when women have got all the things they asked for with regards to equality, they're more miserable than they've ever been. Like, if you went back to like the 90s, when women were more or less in the same equal space as men. Like, when I was a kid, my mother worked. She was free to do whatever she wanted. She went out drinking with her friends, and she had a career, and she used to work. And it was about where it needed to be. But they kept on banging that drum about equity and all these other commie gibberish that they come out with. And fast forward to 2025, women are more miserable now than they ever have been. Like, in 1990, I feel like my mother and all of her friends were all in a good mood. They all had kids. They all had vibrant social lives, and they were all happy. And in
No, no, no. Wait a minute.
2025,
I'm gonna have to clap back at that
go
because
on then.
we just had the trans movement where men were women. I mean, talk about even in the third world, people are looking at the United States saying, "What do you mean a man is a woman?"
Yeah, well, isn't that making women depressed? What I'm saying is,
It's terrible.
surely, objectively, with all of these things, these great achievements, allegedly, women would be happier now than they ever have been. But in 2025, women are way more depressed and medicated now than they were in 1995. Like, it
Yeah,
seems to me it's gone totally backwards for women. They're not
yeah.
happier now. They were happier in the 90s. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems to me that this feminist project hasn't gone particularly well the last 30 years. Seems like women were a lot happier. When I was a teenager, I feel like women were a lot happier. They weren't having to compete with men in sports. They weren't having to worry about blokes walking into the changing rooms. They were having partners that cared about them, and they had families and children that they cared about.
I
What's
mean, this
gone
is why you
right?
guys.
What's gone right?
This is why you guys died young too because you had to do all the work. I
Well, I
really,
mean, it's gone badly for all of us. Maybe this is what I'm saying. Maybe this project has been terrible for all of us. The women are miserable, and the men are miserable because we don't get to do the things that men like doing. Men are puppy dogs, really. Women are the clever ones.
yeah,
A smart
yeah.
woman knows how to wrap a man around a little finger.
Oh
My
yeah.
missus was telling me that yesterday because I've had a few issues with girls at work where they complain constantly and they're a pain up my ass. And she was saying to me, it's because men are stupid. She's like, women, we're good at this stuff because we're physically weaker. So from an early age, we get trained to be smarter. We think about things a lot more. She goes, you guys are just dumb. You just follow your impulses and you think everything's going to be fine all the time. So she's like, you don't get it. And in this modern era where they're all in the workplace with you, you
Yeah.
guys aren't playing the game. You're not Machiavellian. You're not thinking of the big picture. So this is what I'm getting at. It's like this project from the last 30 years has made us all miserable. Women are
Yeah.
unhappy and men are unhappy. Men like looking after the wives and the daughters. We like carrying the shopping. We like opening the door for you. We
Yes,
like doing all
you
that
like
stuff.
feeling like a man.
Yeah, and now it's all gone backwards. So all the women have scared. Like, did you see all those viral videos last week of all those TikTok girls saying, "Why don't men approach us anymore? Like, no man will approach
You
me."
know what? You know what? I got to tell you something. I've seen those girls that, remember when TikTok, they had this viral dance and they show their ass and all kinds of things. I mean, what is the mystery for a guy? You already showed them the goods. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, he
it's
doesn't have,
unbelievable.
because you know what? My dad told me with this once. Men like to hunt women until they get caught.
Oh, that is kind of true. That is, and
So
that's again.
women want to give you the illusion that you're hunting them, when in reality, I mean, but if we want you guys, you're done. That's it.
Yeah, the thrill of the chase is part of the fun. But I mean, another thing there, it's like these are all evolutionary things that are normal for men.
I
Yeah.
don't remember this thing.
But you know what I'm saying? These girls are all complaining now, saying there was loads of viral videos last week where they're all going, "Oh my God, the men won't approach me." At this point, I'd even take a cat call from a building site. Like, it's got so bad. It's got so bad that the women want to get catcalled because the men are such terrified of being neutered by this project that the men are terrified. When I was a lad, that's what we used to do in the 90s.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. The 90s was brilliant. Like when I used to go
80s
on
for
a
me.
Friday,
80s for me.
Oh, well, they were great. They were great. And it was
Yeah,
our
or the
job.
60s, 70s. I mean, men, I mean, I saw Harry Styles dressed like a woman. I mean, I'm like, what the fuck?
Unbelievable.
What the F is this? But you're
Unbelievable.
right, Matt. Well, you're right. And I'm going to tell you, because now that you're talking about it, I lived in Norway for many years. We can all agree that the Norwegians do equality like nobody else, right?
Yeah.
So women are allowed to be aerospace engineers. Guess how many women are in the aerospace? They have the choice to do it. Guess what they choose?
5%?
Not even.
Not even that?
Not even that. No, not even that. So women are allowed to. You don't see women doing construction in Norway.
No, they don't want to. No.
You don't
They've got
see
the
that.
freedom to do it. Yeah.
But they did a study that in Norway, after so many years and with all equality, women go back to doing women's work because we are genetically, like the women stayed in the caves looking after the young, after the men went out hunting to proudly come back with whatever he caught to feed his family. And this is why we women have this protective instinct that men don't have, which is, like you protect, because the mother, really, if you think about it, when the man went out, he left, especially a mother who had just given birth, like a tiger, whatever, vulnerable. So the instinct of protection is like, you do not F around with a protective mother. Like even soldiers know that. And I don't know if this is true. But I have had a lot of soldier friends of mine. And they told me that one of them was very badly injured and they thought he wasn't on the field, and he didn't think they were going to come and get him. And he said that the words that he used is, "Mom, help me."
Yeah, well, you do hear that, yeah. Well, I mean,
but he didn't go for his dad to come. Yeah, but he didn't ask for his dad to come and help him. And even though he was tight with his dad, it was his mom because he knows that mothers will do anything.
Yeah, I've learned lots of stories of men saying they were calling out for their mum. Them two Scandinavian girls who got butchered by those Moroccans when they went hiking a few years ago. They were Norwegian, I think. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Two young lads who went. I think they were calling for the mums. It's terribly depressing, but yeah, it's because men. We're pre-programmed to be the ones who are going out doing the work, and the women are the ones that raise the children, and it's natural. And that's why women are a lot more empathic than men. Women are a lot more emotionally intelligent than men. But in this day and age, you're not allowed to say that. You have to say we're all equal. Men and women are identical in the brain, and men and women are identical in the body, and women are just as capable as men. It's total bollocks from start to finish, and everybody with two brain cells to rub together knows it. But that was all I was talking about there. It seems to me that everybody's more miserable. The men are miserable because the men can't be men anymore, and the women are miserable because the women can't be women anymore. So dare I suggest that we roll things back to about 1995, when you could still enjoy a night on the town, march up to a woman at a table and say, "All right, love, any chance of a shag?" And she'd say, "But piss off, bootneck." That used to happen quite regularly, right?
Thank you to Honesty and Truth. Wait, we had to stop for Honesty and Truth who sent you a £10 Feminism could be argued as an own goal. The problem is that this economic climate, one wage is not enough to survive on. And where did this idea of having all new stuff appear from? Make a man. You know what? It is not.
It's true.
I think that equality got confused with this kind of stupid idea of feminism. Equality is different. I know I'm not a man. I love being a woman. I know a man's stronger than me. That is what your job is supposed to be. So equality meant that we had equal rights, like for voting, ability to like to drive, to do all those things. That's what equal rights meant, equal pay. But
Yeah.
not that a man, I'm a man or you are a woman. No, 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 no. It doesn't mean that. It means that we are all under whatever you believe. If I'm doing a job like yours, Matt, and we both do the same job and we both do it really well, we both should get paid the same. Which it used to be a gender gap pay, gender gap, payment. That I don't believe in because that's not right.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I believe that women should vote. I believe that women should drive. I mean, some women who are so stupid shouldn't vote, but then again, so some men do.
But that's what I'm saying. That was happening in the 90s. In the 90s, I tell everybody this. I'm not even liberal or conservative now. I'm a time traveller. That's my ideology. I just want to go back to 1995 because the world's gone completely mad. Like you say there, like, I know what a woman and a man is. Everybody does, but people feel the need to say that out loud. Oh, I know the difference between... Like, no shit. You know what it
No.
reminds me of?
Oh, God.
It
They
reminds
have
me
to
of
be
my
at Supreme
favourite...
Court. Wait, wasn't there just a Supreme Court ruling in the UK that they had to officially say by law what was a man? Men are men and women are women?
Yeah, apparently. It reminds me of one of my favourite memes. Look there. What is it, doctor? A boy or a girl? We're not allowed to assume the gender anymore, but it's got a cock. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, we know what it is. We don't need to say this stuff, but they act as if you need a court of law to tell you. We need a court to tell us what a woman and a man is. It's completely topsy-turvy. And everyone's miserable. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you call yourself a feminist, if you're a woman, you must realise that you were better off in, like, the mid-90s was sort of peak women's rights measured against common sense. Women could vote, women could work, but women also knew they had a role and men had a role. And when we both have a role, we're both happier. Everybody wants a role. You don't want to feel like you're useless. When you're a woman with children, you know you've got a role. And when you're a man who's providing for your family, you know you've got a role. It's like, it's so obvious to me. And every working class person who's ever had a mother and a father and been a happy child knows it's all true. But you need some psychopath politician to go, no, a woman can have a big floppy cock. No, they can't. So stop talking about it. I feel like my IQ drops every day I talk about it. It's so obvious.
The weekly rant Paula gets it. You're fucking right. I get it. I'm 56. I know what it's like, you're not going to tell me that some dumbass like Jeffrey Marsh is going to be wearing that. Oh, he makes me so angry.
Anyway, enough ranting about the feminist thing.
Okay, I'm going to show you something
video.
because okay, ladies, let me prepare the people because I cannot believe that this slipped by our so sharp-edged Mr. Matt the Angry Bootnik. I mean, how can this is 2 years or 2 or 3 years old, Matt, and this slipped you by? I don't get it.
Never seen
it. Okay,
it.
I thought everybody's done videos about it, buddy. We all done videos about it. I mean, repeated videos. I mean, this was all over the net at some point. This is our angry boot Mac. This is Meghan Markle. I'm gonna pause it because this fucking thing starts always every time I do this. Okay, here, and I'm gonna show it to you. Let me see if I can do this so we can be on the there. Okay, so we're gonna show Mr. Matt the Angry Bootnik. This is a polo match where some lady, Mrs. Meghan Markle, tried to be the royal. This is in Florida, I believe, or in Santa Barbara, some place like Harry was playing. And they're getting the trophies, right? They're handing out the trophies. This is Meghan Markle's idea of being regal and royal. You can do commentary, Matt, because it has no sound.
Well, this is cringe. I hadn't seen this until, I don't know, like a week ago. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. It's like, he keeps trying to get the trophy for the obligatory photo where the team raises it. But
She tried to grab that guy's. She tried to grab that guy's trophy, and the guy goes,
She keeps shuffling forward to get in the picture look, and he's like, what we doing here? So all of them are just stood there going, like, what? Should I just put one finger on it because his ridiculous, silly mayor wife will not piss off the stage? Like, I don't know what's going on there. So you can see the way she shuffles forward, where it just needed two blokes to put their hands under the trophy, and she refuses. Like, she shuffles forwards there. She's like, no, I have to be in this picture, lads. And you can see the lad who's holding the other, like, is that like the award they get for it or something? You can see he's like, you're not holding this, bitch. You didn't earn it. I had to pull my pudding out in the gym for years to earn this, so you keep your greasy mitts off it. But, it's cringe, innit? It's cringe. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, no wonder all the birds hate her. Like I said, I don't watch the royals as sort of religiously as you do, so a lot of this passes me by. But when I saw that, I was like, no wonder everybody hates her. Like, she's about as likable as a radioactive leper, isn't she? I want to spend no time with that woman.
I know, but I'm going to show you her talents. I mean, do you think it ends there, Matt? Oh, God, no. And I'm going to mute myself for this one because there is sound. So, and I want you to understand that this woman was near our queen. I just want you to understand that.
There you go.
All right, a little more.
There you go. Okay, no, we're not saluting the sun. So something else. Maybe try something sitting here. And just give me a little bit more.
Just a little more.
Yeah.
Do you look at the legs?
No. Just try to sit.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, a little more. Yeah. I
No.
got more.
Yeah, see, no. This is not porn. This is for the Sunday paper. So
Yes, it
the
was.
situation you have going on, that's got to get tucked in. Okay? It is.
She can't act either, can she? She's kind of terrible at
I
everything.
was thinking that a more provocative pose would help.
That's why you're not paid to think.
I mean, Matt, this woman was around our queen, just for people to understand that. And it is so, I mean, to me, it is, you know what really bothers me, Matt, the most, and I don't know if people are from the royal family or what. When this See You Next Tuesday did this mock of a curtsy, they had already filmed Netflix. She had already done the mock curtsy. Harry had already talked trash about his grandmother.
Yeah. No, they're...
Do you understand this? That these snakes were there when our queen lay in state, like dead. And she's doing the deepest curtsy, knowing full well that they had already wrapped up Netflix, where she does that mock curtsy. And I'm not going to show it here because then I'm going to throw the laptop and I'm going to end up having to buy another laptop whenever I see that. So just think how what a snake Harry is, because people still try to find a redeeming quality from this asshole.
Oh, he's a little rat, isn't he? I hate him. I told you, the one good thing about living in Santa Barbara County is that when there was flash floods and there was mass storms for a week, I was praying that I'd see him come floating past me in the gutter. I was hoping there was massive storms in Montecito, just up the road. Because obviously, he lives in the posh bit. It's about 40 minutes from where I am, at Montecito. And I was praying that I was going to see, there's rubble floating through the gutter, that I'd see the ginger one come floating by. I hope I bump into him one of these days. It's bound to happen eventually, isn't it?
No, but the thing is, they never are there. They don't live there, really. Even this guy who was there, neighbor, this is a famous sports guy. He literally lives next door. Nobody in Montecito has ever really seen either their kids or Harry or Meghan, really only when they do photo ops.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, actually, because Montecito is weird. Like, we drove right through it recently on the way back.
It's 1 mile. It's like very small, guys.
Yeah.
It's not that big.
And the weird thing is, I was desperate for a slash, so I was saying to my missus, I need a piss, find us a toilet. So we pulled off the motorway into Montecito, and then I was driving around thinking, like, there'd be like a McDonald's or a strip mall or something. All there is massive castles with huge walls around them. You drive around all these little streets, and all you're looking at is nice greenery and walls, which is another thing that makes me laugh about these lefty elites, because they all talk about open borders, but it's open borders for you and me, but it's not open borders for them, because they live in houses that look like castles, and the walls that surround their houses are like 10 feet tall. They have a wall around their entire house with cameras on it and private security. But when Harry and Meghan go on TV, they say, "Oh, we should get rid of all the borders." It's like, well, you haven't got one round. You've got one round your house, you silly cow. I don't like this idea of borders for you and not for me. That seems a bit unfair.
Yeah. This is really, look at this face. This is a wedding, guys. It's not a funeral. Nobody's trying to look at Meghan. They're all looking at only Princess Catherine. Andrew is probably thinking, I did that hag. I can't believe she married this idiot. But look at them. Everybody's looking at Harry. Look at William. William is like, only Prince Philip. Prince Philip is probably looking at Harry straight in the eyes saying, you fucking fool.
Yeah, he has got appalling. The thing is, though, that runs in the family, doesn't it? Appalling taste in women.
Yes,
that runs in the family. His dad was married to a hottie and he binned her for a woman with a face like a foot. Like, she's grotesque, isn't she, Camilla? She has got an head like a belt, like a welder's
terrible.
bench.
It's terrible. And I mean, I'm sure you have seen this one though, Matt. I'm sure you have seen this one. This is her. By the way, this was not filmed in 2021. This was filmed in 2024, 2025. She posted it 7 weeks ago, about 10 days prior to her posting date.
That is definitely fake. It looks like a pillow.
It is a pillow. Something there. She's supposed to be 1 week overdue. This is at the height of COVID. She's such a D-list actress that she forgot that it was COVID during that time. And the hospital had restricted people. You could not be in the hospital, even in your room, without mask. Husbands were not allowed in. And that when she posted this, a lot of the mothers started calling saying, you didn't even allow my own husband there. Why were these people without masks? Because they have central air ventilation. If you were overdue, what they would do is they would induce birth, which is basically producing induced cramping, which is horribly painful. And they would breach your placenta. You would be in agonizing pain. If they had already put that cannula in your arm, you would not have any jewelry, and you would be wearing the hospital gown and not be wearing high heels. And if you did that move, you'd pee yourself, because you have, according to her, she gained 60 pounds, just belly, and that's how she justifies not being swollen or anything. Okay?
It just looks fake. She's got like a lumpy belly, unless the kid comes out with a lumpy face. Why is your belly lumpy?
But look at that. That's your prince. That's your prince. That's your prince.
Look at there, like right there. Look where she's got. If that's not fake, the kid should come out looking like a boglin. Like it's got like a lumpy head.
She's wearing all the jewelry. She's not wearing a hospital gown. The cannula is here, which is never there. It's always here. And and they're both without masks.
The cringe,
and there's somebody else filming them, because at the start of the video, Meghan looked at the guy in there. This would not have been allowed in 2025 and 2021 at the height of COVID.
This is why I like coming on with you, because you make me hate them even more. That is in it. There's no way that's real. As I said, the kid would look like Rocky Dennis. The fact that the child doesn't look like Rocky Dennis makes me think that was fake.
No, and I mean, I have videos, because the hospital sent me a video, and I will do that later on. The hospital sent me a video where they actually talk to the news at the end of May 2021, saying that they were apologizing, but they were, because the surge of 4,000 cases of COVID in the last week in Santa Barbara alone, they had already restricted, and they sent me the list of restrictions, because every parent is complaining, how dare you? They even have tents outside for mothers to come. If you were overdue, they packed you and they sent you.
Yeah.
So it is unbelievable, but we're going to be here also, guys, because we've got to talk about this. We have to talk about this, guys. For me.
Oh, this one again. Have you heard that?
She sued Candace.
This one I have followed though, right? They're actually suing Candace Owens.
That's what we're here to talk about.
I love how guilty he looks there. Like he knows he's just been caught. It looks like a ginger child with caught red-handed with his hand in the cookie jar, doesn't he? There, look.
I'm sorry,
she clips him, and he instantly clocks the journalist and waves. Like, hey,
it's like, my God, if they do this behind doors, what would they do in front? You know what I mean? I mean, we're gonna keep playing it, guys, because this is just too juicy. And you know why they're suing Candace, right? Because they don't want to stand in front of people like Princess Kate and have her give her a look down, you know?
John just put in the chat there. Can I show the chat here? He
Yeah,
just put in the
which
chat.
one? Which one is it?
Slapped him because he just grabbed a bollocks.
Where is it? Where is it?
I can't. Just under blonde girl, John Hunter. He said, "Oh, that's because he just grabbed a bollocks." That's a great one. I love that. Just under blonde girl, the one underneath.
Where is it? The one underneath?
The one underneath, yeah. John Hunter.
John, Men of the Year. Men of the Year?
No. John Hunter. It's, maybe you can't see people that are on my channel.
Yeah, no, I can't see it. But you can highlight yours if you're on your channel on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
I can't download it because...
No, it doesn't matter. But anyway, that made me laugh. He said this squabbling because he grabbed the bollocks. That's great.
Yeah, that's probably true. But so, I mean, this is absolutely... And now the reason why they're suing Candace is because he doesn't want Princess Catherine to, or everybody looking at them, you know, because now everybody's eyeing down, you know, the old kind of, every time it was.
She walks like John Wayne as well. That's another good one, isn't it? She walks like a bloke. Have you noticed?
You look like a lady.
Like women have a sort of like sensual sway about them, don't they? When they walk, they go from side to side. Blokes walk like this. That's what she walks like. She walks like the man who walked towards me and then 2 seconds later punched me in the face in a pub brawl. She walks like she's going to clip someone, like a sort of... She walks like an Ewok, like with her arms out like that. Like, there's nothing feminine about her. So maybe it's true. And as I said to you, I'm not being funny. Even without any of them scandals, even without any of that stuff, it's proper weird for a man to marry a woman 30 years older than him. Like, that is weird. The only time you hear it happening in reverse is when it's like a billionaire, a multi-millionaire marrying some young lass who's marrying him for money. But there's something proper dodgy about it. And I would have told you that before any of the stuff came out about him. You know what I mean? There's definitely some dodgy going on.
That lady, man, trying to say Candace Owens. I really don't get it. You know what? Because the thing is that Candace gave her, apparently Candace showed that they sent the Macrons and like, there's this guy saying this. We want to run a piece on it. Can you have your say? If somebody said, Paula, we're going to publish your man, I said, fuck, come and do my DNA here, buddy. You know, and you know, just game over. You know, like here's my birth certificate. But if it's not enough for you, come and do my DNA. Come and do my DNA. That's it. Yeah. If you're a bloke, end of discussion. That would have basically stopped Candace from publishing the story because Candace gave them many options for right of reply.
She could just phone Piers Morgan while he's live on air and say, Piers, come and check me, come and check down my knickers.
But that is so easy to stop, Matt. That is such an easy thing to stop.
Yeah, I know. It's a crazy time to be alive. The whole world's gone completely mad. This is what I'm saying. Everything's mental. And like this, they always say, you know what I always tell my viewers? Old adages. Old adages, there's wisdom in them. The reason it becomes an adage is because it's wisdom. If it wasn't wisdom, it'd disappear. So old adages are always wise. The real world is the ultimate filter. If it's total nonsense, it would never have been passed down through the ages. So they all make sense, don't they? Like a rolling stone gathers no moss. That makes a lot of sense. And one that's true is there's no smoke without fire. There's no smoke without fire. Don't tell me there's nothing shady going on with the Obamas, for example. Don't tell me Big Mike hasn't got a 10 inches on the slack when this dude who worked in the house strangely drowns to death behind the house. It's like there's loads of shady stuff. Normal people do not have the personal chef get drowned behind the house. It never ever happens. It's not like that happens 2 or 3 times to everyone. Like, oh, you know, chef just drowned out the back of the house. It happens all the time. It never happens.
And by the way,
all these shady dealings going on with the Obamas, loads of shady stuff, and it just so happens that the chef gets drowned behind the house. There's no way. He didn't get drowned. He had a CIA bloke with his foot on his head. That's what happened to it. Or
Yeah,
someone.
yeah. You know, I just want to say something, you know, like, it's like, again, it's the easiest thing to disprove. Candace, you come, you take my blood, go do your own DNA thing, and then I don't need to answer anything. And tell me what the result is. That would have been the end of it. And
Yeah.
if the result is female, you shut it down and you do a public apology. That would have been the end of it.
Yeah, easy, innit? And anyone would agree to them terms. I bet Candace would agree to the terms. You go, all right, I'll tell you what, get a blood test, and if I'm wrong, I'll publicly apologise and I'll give you $500,000.
That's it.
Don't you want the money? That's what she should do. Sweeten the deal. She should say, I'll tell you what, do it, public, and I'll give you a public apology and I'll send $100,000 to any charity of your choice. And then she should be like, oh, well, it's free money for a charity. I'll just go and send them a bit of blood then. But they won't, will they?
No, but it's not sending blood. I mean, Candace has to have a doctor and get a test done there, because this stupid woman has opened Ladyman has opened herself to this, because she even had, Trump calling Candace Owens. You know, the Streisand effect? We're just witnessing now now this is going to be called the Macron effect, the opposite. You know, let's listen to Candace what she says just a little bit here, because this is so funny. She's really funny, you know. I like her so much. And, you know, you may not agree with her, many things that she says. I don't agree with a few things that she says, but, you know, I mean, it's just, this would have been such an easy thing to put to rest, because Candace is so vocal about things. So Candace would have gone, okay, dudes, I took the blood test. It's an XY chromosome. It's an XX chromosome. Or XY chromosome, whatever the hell it is. It's done and over with. It's a female, you know, game over. You know, that would have been it. So let's listen to what our Candace has to say here. Wait.
Tennessee, we are absolutely crushing it. The people that deliver the papers are just fantastic. They're so kind. They're always fans of mine. Anyways, I am floored. Are you floored? Because this is just goofy. You are officially a very goofy man, Brigitte. But I got to give it to you. You've definitely got balls. Everybody around you, and I mean literally everyone around you who told you that this was a good idea, that this was a very good idea for you to be the sitting first lady of a country to file a lawsuit against a journalist of another country. You are literally making history in all the wrong ways. And I want to be very clear here right at the top that this is obvious. Very clear that it is an obvious and desperate public relations strategy. That's what this is. Where do we even begin? Okay, so let's rewind this. In case you're new here, a few weeks ago, Brigitte finally lost her defamation claim against two journalists, which was taking place for years, by the way, over in France. It was the most viral.
I didn't know that. So what?
Oh, yeah, this is why.
These are the journalist who said she was a geezer bird.
That she had a penis, yes. And she sued them in France for defamation, and she lost the lawsuit, because what was given her gravitas was the fact that, she was suing these people. And let's not forget that one or two of those researchers ended up dead too, drowned in some sort of fallers. Apparently drowning is like an illness around these powerful people, you know. It's like, I don't know, you know, like a chef, for example. So
that's what I'm saying. So weird, isn't it? Like, I guarantee, I'll put my hands up now. I guarantee in the rest of my life, I'll never, ever, ever have a chef drown anywhere near my house. Like, it doesn't happen. But if you're one of these rich, powerful sociopath world leaders with tons of skeletons in your closet, the hired help just gets offed with alarming frequency. Of course, it's blatantly obvious. If you don't think he got murdered, then you think Jeffrey Epstein topped himself. It's that simple, isn't it? It's not a common thing that grown, healthy men drown themselves to death. It's just not a thing that happens commonly.
Yeah, but just listen to what she says here.
Story worldwide, everyone's going, okay, obviously something is here. She's been clinging to this defamation claim, saying, oh, well, I'm suing them for defamation, and this is not true. And Brigitte's world, therefore, came crashing down, because that was her only effective PR strategy. That was the only thing that they used to dissuade the rumors that she was born a man. It was an absolute farce of a lawsuit. which relied upon the public not knowing the details of the lawsuit at all. In short, the lawsuit was not about whether or not she was born a man. Okay. That's not the claims of defamation that she was bringing against them, but rather it was very particular. And it was about whether or not Natasha Ray and Amandine Roy misspoke when Natasha said that a document that they had received throughout their investigation appeared to her to be fraudulent. I mean, they were getting really petty. She basically was like, if you make a mistake, I'm going to sue you for defamation. And of course, when you're working with people who won't answer basic questions, you are bound to make little mistakes. But like I said, Brigitte's entire PR strategy hinged upon public ignorance. And then the public ignorance.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And so as you say, I didn't know about that. I didn't even know about those two journalists. So
what do you mean you didn't know?
I didn't know that there was a lawsuit in France.
That lawsuit had been going on for years. She sued everybody.
So I'm saying what you're saying is correct, isn't it, about the effect, the Streisand effect? Because I didn't know about it. And I wouldn't have cared. But now I'll spend the rest of my life going, yeah, Bridget's got a cop. Definitely. Bridget's...
So now, because she lost the lawsuit, now she's going after Candace.
Yeah.
She lost the lawsuit in France. And the one that she won, it wasn't that she won the lawsuit for defamation. It's that she won the lawsuit because the person had put a wrong, not the defamation lawsuit. That was clarified. What she won was something that the person had gotten the, not permission or something like that. Somebody in the chat remind me what it was that she won, but it wasn't the defamation lawsuit. The actual defamation lawsuit she lost just now in France. Yeah. And now she's going after Candace.
Well, job done. I didn't care. I was ambivalent. Now I'm going to spend every day telling everyone that the First Lady of France has got more chopper than Javier Milei, and he walks around with a 4-foot chainsaw everywhere he goes. So, yeah, brilliant, that, isn't it? She's packing heat, that one.
But isn't that amazing? I mean, why, and why have Trump? And then, people are mad at Candace because they're saying you shouldn't have disclosed that Trump called you. I think that this is just my opinion. I think that Trump told her that it was okay to pick it. Because, I think my guest is Mr. Matt the Angry Putnik. I do lives with him, guys, all the time. I will leave his channel for you guys to see him. I mean, how can you not know that? He's Matt the Angry Putnik. He's a former Royal Marine, like a proper one, 5 tours. So yeah, it's because we have some people in the community that are not really proper ones.
Oh yeah, there's loads of fakes, isn't there?
Yeah.
Sad bastards.
Yeah, but here, I'm going to show you his channel so you guys can go subscribe immediately. I mean, I don't even understand how you don't know about him because he has the funniest videos. I still, to me, to this day, the funniest video you have is about the fireman.
The fireman? So, you mean the black disabled fire lesbian? Was
it
a black disabled fireman?
Yeah, you said that suddenly you have the Prince of Bel-Air father showing up, who do you want to have in your, I think it was, what was it called? The DEI hire.
The ones in LA, yeah, it was mad, wasn't it? Again, we talk about this, like, what makes you happy? Nobody's happy. Women aren't happy. Men aren't happy. And think about this. If you're hanging out of a burning building, if you're a 65-year-old man and you have trouble walking down the stairs and you're on the 13th floor of a burning apartment building and you're like, help me, and you look out your flat and you see the fire department turn and you go, oh, thank God I'm safe. And then you look who's trying to try and save you by carrying you down the ladder and you're faced with 2 little fat lesbians, you're not happy either.
You're not getting out alive. No, you're not getting out alive, that's for sure,
The women aren't happy, the men aren't happy, and the fire victims have all got 1st-degree burns. So, nobody's happy. Everyone's miserable.
Mean, what was this man thinking?
I have no idea.
Well, can you imagine having Trump? And you know what? Did you hear the story, the full story that Candace explained? That basically Trump told her that Macron said that if he would be more prone to help stop the war between Russia and Ukraine if Candace stopped talking about his wife's penis.
That's amazing. He actually
Well, he didn't say
that.
penis. He didn't say penis. But and all of this just because, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, just went to greet them. I am sure that even our beautiful Catherine, I'm sure she probably at some point she had to look down.
Trump uses the more politically correct term, pork sword. The president's wife's going to unleash the pork sword.
And you know what he said to Candace? This is very funny. She goes and says to Candace, he says, Candace, I've seen her. She doesn't look like a man to me.
Did he really? I love that. I've seen it.
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh my God, Candace, she seems like a nice lady,
I still like Trump a lot. I think, everyone, the right's full of purists, like they hate all the people who get into power, but I like Trump. I think even with all the Epstein stuff and everything else, ultimately, there's really powerful forces behind the world.
That's a nice segue for what we're going to talk now, but but it's just too funny, like people don't understand that the president of France, and this is not Candace's, research. She gave her platform to a guy. She gave them the right of reply. And this is why, what's her name is angry because, Candace, here, I'll show you this, Matt, because I am sure people were looking. I am sure of it, I'm sure Princess Catherine had to have like a little look, she couldn't help herself kind of thing, that's them going to greet them and, and here they come. And there she refused, here they cut it because the Ladyman Macron refused to allow, what's his name, to grab,
Barry. Should we just call him Barry instead of Bridget? We'll just say Barry.
Brichot. I've been calling him Brichot. Thank you, Sniper Side, for the super chat to Matt. It says you're going to get in trouble with your one unwashed for dead naming Baza and Michael.
Dead naming. Well, that's why we use synonyms and colourful acronyms.
Yeah. But that's it. That she's
Barry.
Just saying it's
Barry and Mike. So from now on, we won't get in trouble. We just call them Barry and Mike.
That's a good idea. But I want to show you something because I want you to tell me what you think of this. Because, Prince William is in Switzerland with Princess Charlotte to wish the Lionesses. Go Lionesses! They're playing football today. But I want to show you this because I want you to tell me what you think of this. Because this is Dan Bongino who posted it. And I just want to know what you think of this. Because I was like, dude, do you really want to go there? I mean, he's saying that he's horrified from what he said, what he's seen. You know what I mean? That he's terrified. And then it says Donald Trump before he went to Scotland said that, Bill Clinton had been 28 times to the island. Mm-hmm. And now he's saying that Gavin Newsom is asking for the money that the $100 million are missing, raised for the fires. Remember the concert?
Yeah.
And that is gone. Nobody knows. And whenever anybody asks, apparently they all pledged it. They raised a lot of money, but nobody got it.
I heard about that. It all just got nicked, didn't it? The whole thing. It
just
robbed all the cash.
Well, this is Trump talking about it here.
And I think they're going to look at it. Hey, Mr. President. How you doing, Mr. President? Good. I got a couple of questions for you. One is about Fire Aid. That's the benefit concert they had at Pacific Palisades. That's horrible. Raised $100 million, but some reports indicate that the majority of that money has never made it to the act. All of it. It's
all of it, yeah.
Last night, and I referred it to the Attorney General. And I think they're going to look at it, and I think they're going to act very strongly. I think it's very swift. $100 million, more than $100 million, and they just walked away with the money, it would seem, right? Yeah.
You know what? I knew he was going to like the question because he was pally with that report, wasn't he? He was like, "Hey, Baz, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you." Shook his hand. He was like, "Ask me a question," because he knew the guy wasn't going to be like, "Don't you think we should have women and girls in men's sports?" Or vice versa. You knew it was going to be a good question off that report, didn't you? And he was like, yeah, all stolen.
But the money's gone. The money's gone. And the firemen who work their asses off, and they put themselves in danger to put that away. I mean, I really despise Gavin Newsom, like Newscom.
Oh, he's a snake. He's a snake. Everyone at my work, I was trying to recruit some lads from Cape Canaveral. I was like, why don't you come work for me out here? And they were like, no, I'm not moving. I'm not moving to California. It's ran by a raving lunatic. Everyone in America knows it. When you try and recruit people out here, they don't want to move to California because they know the governor's a communist and he steals your money off you.
But he's not even a communist. I think he's a crook.
But it's just, he's a gangster, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a crook. He's a crook. That's really what it does. Is my personal opinion. Listen to what Ronald Reagan says here, because this is a classic one.
And they all seem to have different answers as to what is going wrong in the country. Some people say, well, let's let the government spend billions of dollars. And then other people say, no more federal spending. Let's give the tax rebates. And the other intelligent people say, no tax rebates. We've got to do this and do that. So everybody is confused. How do you see the thing? How are we going to get out of this?
Well, Johnny, I think that one of the things is that people keep looking to government for the answer, and government's the problem.
Good answer. Which is what Conservatives have been saying for years. Like, we need less. We need to half the size of the government. I told you in the UK, I'd get rid of MPs. I'd say, you know what, let's just amalgamate a few of these small counties and get rid of them. We don't need 600. I think we've got 600 in the House of Commons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what, I want 300. I'd just savagely cut. I'd like Elon does. Get rid of it. Do we need that? Let's get rid of it. I'd cut a lot of it. Honestly, I'd half the size of the House of Lords and I'd half the size of the House of Parliament. It should be on someone's manifesto, but no one's talking about it because I'm assuming they all piss in the same pot. If I was Farage, that'd be the sort of central platform that I'd run on. I will make the government much smaller. I'd tell all of the civil service, every one of them who's a manager or a people leader, by the end of this week, you're nominating me, your bottom performers in your department. I'd say 20%. The bottom 20%. So if you've got 5 employees, you nominate 1. You've got 10 employees, you nominate 2. I want to know who your worst employees are, you can think you can live without, and we're giving them the notice and we're firing them. And you would lose nothing because the civil service is so inefficient. You'd lose nothing. You'd save hundreds of millions in wages and you wouldn't lose anything because at least 40% of the people employed by the civil service are lazy, work-shy, useless, no good chances. And you could do the same thing with the NHS. If you cut the bottom 20% performers in the NHS, you wouldn't lose a single hour of productivity from the workforce because the bottom performers are dragging everybody down. They're lazy and incompetent and they add nothing.
Yeah. And did you see this? This is the tweet posted by Dan Bongino, and he says that during my tenure here as a deputy director of the FBI, I have repeatedly relayed to you that things are happening that might not be immediately visible, but they are happening. The director and I are committed to stamping out public corruption and the political weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations. It is a priority for us. But what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. We're going to conduct these righteous and proper investigations by the book and in accordance with the law. We're going to get answers we all deserve. As with any investigation, I cannot predict where it will land, but I can promise you an honest and dignified effort at truth. Not my truth or your truth, but the truth. God bless America and all those who defend her. Respectfully, Dan. What do you make of that?
Well, it's promising because they're all on his back, weren't they, about Epstein stuff and shit like that. As I said to you, I'm a pragmatist and I give them a lot of slack because I think there's powerful forces behind the scenes whose faces you never see, who are fully involved in blackmail, corruption, collusion, and yes, murder. They kill people. So I think it's easy to talk a tough guy when you're a random guy on Twitter. But I think without knowing exactly what's going on behind the scenes, you've just got to leave them to it and hope that they follow the conscience and they try and do the right thing. Maybe they won't get right to the bottom of it, but you can't know what pressures they're under. These people murder for a living. What, you think Kennedy got shot by a weirdo, a random weirdo? You think the chef drowned himself? Do you think Seth Rich got killed accidentally by a mugger who didn't steal his phone, his wallet, or his watch? You think any of that? These people are cold, stone cold killers. It's why me and my missus have got a gun each right next to the bed. Right? And it's why I triple lock my door. So I can't criticize, and I'm only a YouTube guy, so you can't criticize them. As far as I'm concerned, you can't.
No, but I got to tell you though, but if I were Trump, this is and he knows he's not going to be reelected. I would make everything fucking, you know what? Just make the flight logs up until 2019. Just open them. Declassify them. You don't have to accuse anybody. These are the flight logs with the names. Why won't they even do that? And this is what Alex Jones is talking about. I believe from what I've observed over the years, you are a good man. But until we start seeing arrest of high-level globalists, this nation is doomed. The Trump admin must destroy the deep state or they will destroy us. Do what must be done. And then he goes, number of arrests, Russian collusion hoax.
I know.
0,
You know
6.
what, though?
Mar-a-Lago rate 6. Biden auto pen 0. 2020 election, Epstein pedophile arrest 0. COVID 0. Benghazi 0. Doge finding 0. Ukraine impeachment hoax 0. And instead he fired at Iran and now he's giving more weapons to Ukraine through NATO.
I know, but again, you know what I'm saying? I don't disagree with the sentiment, but I'm just saying I try not to be judgmental because I know how evil and how powerful the people who run the world are. It's why I try to run a comedy channel. You just have to laugh at it. You have to know that you're powerless and just be an absurdist and laugh at it all because, honestly, even if you had no wife and kids, they'd get to you. I think they'd be like, oh yeah, what about we pull your dad's teeth out with a pair of pliers? They'd start a nuclear war, these people. Dan Bongino might be like, right, I've got integrity. I don't care. I'm going to tell everyone. And they'll go, oh yeah, how does World War III sound? And he'll go, okay, I guess. Think about it. Do you think anything's beyond them? The sociopaths that run the world. I think if they thought it'd allow them to maintain their savage grip on power and hide their crimes and stop them getting the electric chair, which they all thoroughly deserve, they'd start a nuclear war. And I think someone like Trumpy Bear or Dan Bongino, I don't think they're made of tough enough stuff. I think you need a stalled corn killer to do it because they aren't made of tough enough stuff. I think Dan Bongino's the type of bloke who'd go, all right, we're going to leak it out to the press. And then they'd say, okay, how does Third World War start? 100 million dead people on your conscience? And he'll go, okay, I'll do as I'm told. So yeah. I'll criticize them, but I won't go all in on it. It's like, you can't know, can you? You can't know what it's like.
Yeah, it's just that people feel disillusioned because there were so many promises and we're halfway through the year now and nothing, and instead he's like that. And I've been looking at some of your posts that you did. Diversity is the gift that keeps on giving. My God, how terrible is that? What happened to that guy? And he's wearing a cross?
No, this guy was invited into the home by these stupid lefty do-gooders who read The Guardian. He was a random African illegal immigrant. They invited him into the house, and then a week later, he murdered them both, decapitated them, and was caught by the police trying to dump the body parts in the river. That's what you get for doing a solid for these people.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And that's what we were just laughing about yesterday, saying, I like how the artist put the big cross on his chest. Like, yeah, nothing says I love Jesus like decapitating two men and putting their heads in the freezer. Yeah, very Christian of him.
Yeah, it's actually quite, if you think about it, I'm sorry you guys are seeing a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo, but you guys know I'm a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, so suck it, There's Meghan Markle, and you can see she's telling the mothers to come to the floor in a visit to Africa. The mothers are having none of it.
Of course, yeah.
And then it's like, come to the ground. I can't be the only one. I mean, these women probably sit on the ground all the time and they get the luxury to sit on a chair, and she makes women uncomfortable. It's like telling them what to do. Yeah, and Shona, we got 1 million subs. Yes, and I'm somewhere in the corner there. And then but it's actually, yes, guys, I'm sorry about that. Here it is. This is the one I wanted to get to you. Listen to him.
Todd will come back with whatever he's got. You're making a very big thing over something that's not a big thing.
I think Ghislaine did a wonderful job. She literally answered every question. She didn't say, you know what, don't ask me that. I'm not going to talk about this person. She was asked maybe about 100 different people. She answered questions about everybody, and she didn't hold anything back.
And now
Interesting.
Trump today said, no, I'm going to release it all. And that is what.
The problem is as well, though, I think this is why, what I'm saying, why it'll be a total hit job on anyone who breaks rank. We all know that this isn't a party thing. Like, the Epstein list is going to be everyone. This is what I'm saying, they burn the world down. The Epstein list, we all know, is not going to be damning for the Democrats. It's not going to be damning for the Republicans. It's going to be damning for all of the powerful sociopaths. It's going to be filled with Democrats, Republicans, foreign dignitaries, prime ministers, presidents, world leaders, actors, lawyers, singers, you name it, judges, everyone. That is going to be a list of hundreds of the great and the good from all around the world. So who knows what dark forces they can array against you. You know what I mean? It's terrifying. It's terrifying to even think about what they could do. And they'd kill 1 billion people if it'd keep their secret.
Oh, yeah. And you know what I tell you? It's but for me, don't release any files. Just release the flight logs until 2019, because the ones that I have until 2015, and I have it on PDF, not that PEDO, proper PDF files. So I have the names, but they took my video down YouTube because at the time they hadn't made it FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. So now a bunch of those names are gone from, if you look at the link. So, but the flight logs I have are until 2015, and they're not good for Bill Clinton. So, why doesn't he release them all? Just release their flight logs. We're not asking, you don't have to name anybody, just release them. Listen to what Kevin Spacey is saying here. I don't know if you've seen this clip, but listen to him, what he said.
I was very fortunate that President Clinton introduced me a lot of business leaders in London because he knew I was coming to the Old Vic. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights.
There were young girls on those flights, yeah. And that's been out. They've talked about it. But here's my point. There's a big difference between not remembering that I met some guy and some woman on a humanitarian trip where my focus was entirely on what we were there to do, and not remembering whether I went to somebody's island. So I never went to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I did not know him, and I never saw him or her after that morning at Buckingham Palace. He didn't even come to Buckingham Palace.
Is it true that Prince Andrew sought your assistance and wanted you to testify that Ghislaine Maxwell was your guest, not his, during that Buckingham Palace tour?
I heard a report about that, but at no time did anyone ever contact me on his behalf. And as I say, I'm not friends with him. I never saw him after that day.
What do you think about what's happened to him?
See, you know what? I'd trust Kevin Spacey's word over any of them lot. Because I think Kevin Spacey's just a gay man who was also sort of done in by the system. I don't think Kevin Spacey's a pedo. They're all calling him one. I think Kevin Spacey's a stereotypical rich gay bloke, and he was just doing what rich gay blokes do, which is trying to shag anything with an arsehole.
Yeah, but what people don't understand, I'm going to inform something about it, guys. He wasn't alone on that flight. Chris Tucker was there. Because I have the flight logs, and they were all flying with the time that they flew there. They went to a trip to Africa, and they ended up in Morocco. They ended up in different countries in Ghana. So Chris Tucker, what's his name? There were a bunch of Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
there were
loads
a bunch
of famous
them.
people. Yeah.
No, but for that particular trip, there were like 8 or 9 actors that were there, you know. Yeah. And Kevin Spacey was one. I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, but I'm saying I have the flight logs. I can show them to you because underneath it there's some royal members of the royal family that were not going to Ghana, you know. So, but it's and he was just wrongly accused, and he won the defamation case, and his career was ruined and everything. He lost his job, and this is the problem with these kinds of accusations. But by releasing the flight logs, just release the flight logs and let people make up their own minds and say, okay, these are the people who were in the flight logs up until 2009, his arrest. 19, yeah. Sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. It'll be hundreds, thousands, all the great and the good in the whole world, all the world leaders, all the judges, all the lawyers, all the singers, all the actors, everything. And so they'll never let it happen. They'd rather the whole world burn than the truth come out, because they're like vampires in the sunlight if you put the truth near these absolute scumbags.
You know that Sean Atwood had Jeffrey Epstein's niece on his channel, and that interview would chill your blood.
I'll have to go watch it, because now you're getting me more interested in all this juicy stuff, and I really want to see it.
It's really Sean Atwood. Let me show it to you guys, because it's here. It's Sean Atwood, and he interviewed her, and the things that this woman shared, this woman is for real, guys. Okay, and you know, like, he interviewed her, and it's something that's very interesting, because he's also where is it? It's Maxwell trial, political prisoner. Where's the niece? Unless they forced him to take it down, but I don't think so. The niece was there. I think it was a couple of days ago. I'm gonna have to see if it was a live or if it was a video. But it was horrible. I mean, it was. Let me see if it was a video. I think it was a video that he did. He also has Kirby Sommers, who was one of the. Oh, here it is. Epstein niece here. That's Epstein niece talking on Sean Atwood. I'm going to share it so you guys can see it, because it is such a story. I mean, I kid you not, guys. It is. You see, Epstein niece here. You know, and it's. I mean, she is blood. She is his niece.
Yeah.
You know,
she said they were just full-blown psychopath Satan worshippers.
She was trafficked by them.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Isn't it insane? I hate it. I mean, and she's like, "This is what happened," and she tells that all, and you're listening to it, and you were like, "Surely, this can't be true."
Oh, it's true.
Surely, you know.
This, I'm assuming that's this stuff. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Well, like I said, on the positive side, this is the typical pragmatism of the soldier. Whenever one of your mates gets killed or injured in war, you're always sad, but you always have, at least my bollocks are still attached to my body. That's the only good thing I could think of when it was all going wrong. So to try and end on a high note, at least I haven't been shagged by Bill Clinton. Yeah, at least Bill Clinton hasn't had me. Big Mike hasn't been rogering me anywhere, so we can end on a high.
Oh no, and also, who do you think is going to win? Do you think that this lawsuit from Candace Owens is going to get to court? Because if it gets to court, I mean, Candace is going to ask for all kinds of shit.
They'll probably just kill her or something. You know what they're like? They'll probably just shoot her in the head. If it's gonna go badly for them, she's going to have a very bad day. Is all I say. So follow my lead. Be cynical. And sleep next to a firearm and hope for the best. And go out wearing a chastity belt. I don't go anywhere now without my iron underpants on, because I don't want Big Mike to give me a surprise when I'm leaning over in the grocery store.
No, you're right. But thank you for coming, Matt. And I will leave his link under the description if you're on my channel. Thank you for coming, guys. And as usual, I told you this was not gonna be your regular with Matt. It never is. So thank you for coming, Matt. And I'll see you soon.
I'll see you again soon. Bye.